We are certainly in the thick of it now, and by that I mean Mousesports get it done over Big Clan in a game that goes to overtime. 9-6 first half, 6-9 second half. That nets us into an overtime that gives us a 22-20 scoreline on the first map. The map pick of Mousesports, Nuke, going their way, but they do it not as convincingly as we would have thought. Welcome back, everybody, to the DreamHack Master Spring 2020. Alongside of me are going to be two very familiar faces in both Halvor and Jacob, and they're ready to get this party started as well. And I'm gonna kick off this whole segment by saying I'm gonna let y'all finish, but Big should have won that game.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think that was definitely a game where Big had it all really laid out for them in order to win. Obviously, Mousesports do a good job of bringing it back, but overall, it's a game of two teams playing pretty damn good T sides. Obviously, you can, I guess, have some pointers on what they're doing on their CT sides, how they're not necessarily adapting as well as you would have liked to see. But overall, that was a really, really well played game. I've thoroughly enjoyed that, even with all the chaos that happened towards the latter stages.
Yeah, speaking of latter stages, I'd rather us just jump right into something educational. I think, Jacob, are you ready to do the damn thing?
Yeah, let's jump into the Stats Helix program, because we have the scoreline being 7-5 for Mousesports right here. And as Halvor was saying, they had a very strong T side. And this round we're going to see right here, just by the looks of it, right? Frozen is in a 1 versus 4. There should be no way Big Clan is losing this one. But we saw it yesterday as well when they were playing Mad Lions. They were actually playing much better than Mad Lions yesterday, but they still made it close because they don't play these situations pretty well. Susan dying right here, that's okay. He's finding the information, and you can argue that's okay. But look at this. What's going to happen right here now is that these two Goonies are going to go for a duel out here towards Yard, and there is no reason to do it. There's 40 seconds left. Frozen still has the bomb. All you have to do is defend the bomb site. You don't have to take the fight. You don't have to go at Frozen. Play out the clip right here. Well, Frozen gets 2 kills, and all of a sudden it's a 1 versus 1. We can switch over to the point of view of Frozen as well to see how he do it, right? But the whole theory behind this is that Big Clan, in a situation like this, there is no reason whatsoever for them to fight against Frozen. They did it yesterday against Mad Lions as well. If they played these situations better, they would have won this game without a doubt.
And I mean, it kind of goes back to, well, before the game, you know, I was alluding to the fact that I thought that the duel between Voxic and Searson would be actually pretty influential. And in a lot of these instances, and a lot of man advantages that we saw from Big, it's Searson actually being a liability more so than an asset to this Big squad. And that 1v4, for example, he's the first one to, you know, push aggressively through lobby, gives away an easy opening kill for Frozen. We saw it on multiple other occasions, whether it's him flanking, you know, on the CT side through Yard, or if it's him, you know, kind of just forcing himself into position from where he's mauled it out and always goes for the aggressive option. It's a bit of an odd one. I was kind of hoping that Searson would bring, you know, a positive to him, but he was straight up a net negative for Big in this one. And I think if he just plays somewhat average, that's a pretty easy win for Big, actually.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about individuals, and we were talking about taps, and you know, I want to speak about a gentleman by the name of Tizian and also a player by the name of Keto. I think that they had big impact.
They have big impact, and we need to see them step up on Vertigo as well now. The second map coming up. Mousesports is not a bad Vertigo team at all. We saw Big played yesterday as well against Mad Lions. It wasn't as pretty as it probably should have been. It was the very first time Mad Lions played that map, yet it was still a relatively competitive game, I'd say. So Big Clan can fix some of those mistakes if they stop giving up these advantageous situations. I think they have Mousesports where they want them, because this was a scrappy game of Counter-Strike overall. And you know what? Big Clan, they're showing up individual apart from Susan right now.
Yeah, we're showing that the shots can be hit. Halvor, what's your last take here?
No, again, just like my biggest worry is the fact that Big had a big opportunity to steal a map off of Mousesports, and the problem is when you're an underdog coming into these kind of games, you only get that one chance, and I think that's going to be a really tough task to really take it to 3 now for Big.
Yep, tough task. And as Harry once said, a wise man named Harry, he goes something about Vertigo is Nuke 2.0, and that's exactly where we're going. The second map of the series happens to be Vertigo, so we're going to go jumping into that right when we return. It's Big taking on Mousesports at the DreamHack Masters Spring 2020.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. We've got this second game about to begin, Hugo, and it's going to be Vertigo. I say second game, I mean second map.
Yeah.
Of course, we're still on our first series of the day, Mouse versus Big. Now, we might have already had the excitement of a whole series out of it, Hugo, but it was just a double overtime affair over on Nuke. Now we head into Vertigo. My favorite map in the pool, and hands down, the best map Counter-Strike has ever offered. I think that's fair to say.
I agree. Nuke and Vertigo, best two maps in the pool right now. At least I think they bring the most competitive games, the most exciting ones, even if this A site is a little bit kaput, but we can deal with that. And Big, well, they're looking to deal with it very early indeed. A pissed around T-side start for Big, going up towards this A site slowly, but surely. Frozen's jump spotting, he can fall off the second he makes contact, and there's the contact, now he falls off. Big beginning to move up towards A. Mousesports are going to adjust this double B setup and move rotations towards this A site. You can notice they have 2 grenades. Those are going to be used to stopping a bomb plant here for Big on A. That's if that happens. They are peeling back, but only swapping sides to go up short. Looking like a full commitment from Big. That last player of Keto holding the flank is coming to join them. And Mousesports, the silence has at least made them go back to a double B. So Carrigan, he'll have his only grenade on his own on this A site. That's a bit of a shame. Chris won't be able to double nade the planter now. And Big, they've got 2 HEs of their own. So what's up their sleeve?
Yeah, I'm really curious what the 2 T-nades are for. They're going to get thrown over now, or one of them did at least.
Nice.
Carrigan's nade does find the bomb planter in Tabson. Now, this bomb plant's going to get attempted again, and there's no more pesky nades to rain on in. Tares is going to get it planted, and through the smoke, Searson deletes Carrigan. This wraparound gets dealt with as well by Keto. And so suddenly, what was looking like a good 5-on-4, you know, denying the bomb plant, looking up for Mousesports, it's now turned pretty sour. Chris J does have this defuse kit, rather, so he can get on that bomb. If he had not, that would be impressive. Gonna stick it, still on the defuse, and a couple of taps later, Tizian with the knife out tries to deny it. But yeah, 3 shots, that's all it takes from Mouse to drop those players and allow that defuse to come on in. Rops delivers a stellar double over at short side. And it is actually Mousesports in the long run to find that pistol.
Yeah, big kills from Rops, right? When you have that default plant there on A, the best position to cover it is short. Is because you know typically where the CT is going to be sitting. At least like if you're looking from ramp, they can either be left or right with the bomb. If you're looking from short, they have to be in front of you. They have to be on a certain angle, so you know where you're spamming from. So Rops gets the crucial kills on those short players, and Big won't be able to get that post plant off. Now going to have to be an eco, but let's think back to New Carry. Let's remember a whole map ago, many years, many moons. Big, they lost the pistol on the T side, they bought Deagles, and they won the buy. They didn't even force, they just bought Deags, and they picked it up. But Mousesports, they don't want that to happen this time. Rops drops Keto and falls back safely. Chris kills Tizian in middle, and one by one, Mousesports taking safe fights with flashbangs, with teammates to trade. Big not able to get back into the swing of things, not in this round at least. And with just Antares left, the bomb dropped on B. He's too far away to stop that. Just looking for a gun or anything, a fight. And Mousesports, they're going to give him an engagement. Carrigan's swinging. He's spotted Antares. And now Mousesports can start to move in. Voxic has his knife out, very frag hungry. And maybe they shouldn't be because they're giving Antares away back in the round, but he only gets 2. And Mousesports will finish it off. Rops with a 3-piece, and Mousesports take that lead nice and early on.
Right, so Hugo, do you want to look at the buy in this round and talk me through your thoughts on it? Because Mousesports, they're 2-0 up, right? Now, we know they like to run this solo deagle on Chris J. Rops has also joined the action. There's an MP9 on Frozen.
The value of doing this, let's go over the pros and cons. The value of doing this is if you win a fight, if you win an individual fight, you get an AK, right? And if let's go the other way. If you lose the round entirely, you can still rebuy. That's the aim for Mousesports. They know that no matter what happens, they can buy in the follow-up. And that's this is enabling that. If they get guns, it's only going to increase their weaponry in this round, and with little investment, they get a lot of reward. Look at this. Now, this buy looks excellent. They're a man up. They've got an AK on Rops. Yes, there's Deagle on Chris, but that's not really seeming like a problem anymore for Mousesports, who are advantaged in this round. But a fast play for Big. They're trying to beat Mousesports to the site. Tamsin gets up mid and kills Woxic, but is traded through the smoke. Still engagements with the AKs. Big have 3 of them up, but Tizian is taking them down in middle. 2 kills from him. Chris coming through the smoke as well. Tizian doesn't see the timing. He looks away, and Chris, he'll get that kill. Now his Deagle gets upgraded as well, and Mousesports still have a chance in this 2-on-2. Uh-oh.
Ooh, Xantares deep within CT, and a little bit deeper than Mouse might be ready for. They're not even considering it, so Xantares has allowed that kill onto Chris J almost entirely for free. Frozen is the man expected to trade it, and Xantares has dodged him for the time being. Now Frozen's just going to keep holding down this angle, and he knows Xantares is still here thanks to these little hints, this little breadcrumb trail that Xantares has left him with the flashbangs. Frozen still waiting patiently, and now he sees Xantares crossing back into the site. That's a bit of a heartbreak moment for Frozen. That was his chance to isolate a gunfight, but he gets given it a second time around. However, the trade is fast in response from Searson, and that round goes the way of Big. Now, as you were saying, Hugo, the goal for Mouse was to be able to invest in this round here and now, but with 2 players still being a little bit low in money at the kind of go-ahead for this this bonus round, the investment's going to come in, but it is going to be lacking in some respects, right?
But let's look on the other side of the coin, right? Let's say Mousesports fully bought those rifles in that previous round on both Chris and Rops. They would have not been able to buy here. And Mousesports still made that round winnable. They still made it very close. It came down to the clutch. Like, you know, if Frozen was a little more ready there, he might have won it. So not only showing how viable that buy is, but what it leaves you with if it doesn't work. It's still a good investment here for Mousesports. They've still got the AWP, but those guns need to be put in the right place at the right time, and Carrigan will be on the wrong side of the gun. Taken down by Xantares on A early. We've got this boost up for Chris and Co. But Frozen, he's waiting. The key about this boost is you don't want to be peeking too aggressively. You want to pick when you want to go over the wall, essentially, to go for that fight. If you're holding the whole time, not only can your gun barrel be seen, but your head from multiple positions. So playing it safe are Mousesports. They're even going to deconstruct it eventually as Big begin to move up. That's unfortunately timed by Mousesports. They would have had the info. Now they have none. And they're going to have to find it out the hard way. Frozen pushing up on short side. There are players here. The Mac 10 of Keto, and it makes quick work of Frozen. No head armor, no problem. Big entries from this T side, and they're all over the site. The plants come in, and Rops' Deeg, well, it's not going to save the day this time.
Is he even able to find a gun to take with him out of the round? Tizian is floating around down here towards this lower area of the map. Only armed with a Galil, not exactly the most prized of rifles, but Rops will still take it if he can get his hands on it. However, it looks like they're going to bypass each other right now. So this second round for Big is solidified and very much guaranteed. And a third probably going to follow. There's no money for Mouse in this round. Got that 2-stage loss bonus, so everyone's going to go around to the $2,000 mark, and then obviously with 2,400 still to come in on the back of this next round, I don't think you're going to see a force buy here for the Mousesports side. Their kind of aggressive purchases have come to a close, and they're probably just going to have to take this one eco. This should be a 3-2 scoreline solidified for Big, and a chance at a clean round here for the German squad.
Yeah, Vertigo, pretty T-sider right now. Pretty much the only map in the pool that is a bare minimum, like guaranteed T-sided. I'd say Mirage probably follows pretty closely after, but even then that can be split and dependent on the matchup. I feel like almost every game we see, you know, 9-10 round T-sides on this map. So Mousesports don't need to be too worried, not yet at least. But the same way, Big are warming into this game. Rops' Deagle with armor, the only thing in this round Mousesports have other than those default pistols. It's going to fall out of mid early. Doesn't get a second chance to re-peek, would have died if so. And so giving Big the room to move in the middle. And Mousesports are actually going to come down ramp instead, getting very aggressive. Oh, Xantares baited in by that player, but he does hit the shot on Chris, who whiffs just one bullet. And that's enough to give Xantares the room to move, and he's taken 2. There's another man up on A as well. Just Frozen, not for long. Big are just going about the just the daily chores, I guess. Nothing too difficult. Just USPs for Mousesports. Rops has not been in any of these engagements, and that will not be changing.
Wow, Tabson, how could you do Zentares like that? He was on for the ace. Zentares actually dinks down the player in the sight, headshots him through the box, and Tabson finishes it off. So, yeah, that ace has been denied. Rops is the Deeg save king, is the lesson we're learning here and now. You're going to try and get away with it again.
This save gonna have a little less value, right? Mousesports are buying moving forward. Rops, he can play Deagle in the rifle round, like, you know, we've seen it done. So there's always that available, but he's likely just focused on saving this Kevlar, really. One worry is the bomb is going to take health away from his Kevlar, meaning he'll have to upgrade it. I imagine he just won't, right? And he'll just stick with body armor because there's AKs on almost everyone here for big. So, you know, that's one note. Rops saved 100 armor for 2 rounds, only to let the bomb remove it. But not the end of the world. The buy can come through for Mousesports is what we've been waiting for anyway, and Rops has got full utility. I don't see any kits, Harry. I do not see any kits. You can't really play a CT side of Vertigo without
I know
kits.
This always gets to you,
It
Hugo.
does. It really does.
It gets under your skin, doesn't it? Oh, well, you know, here's an alternative. What if you never need the kit? What if Chris J just hunts down the frags at the ramp?
Yeah.
I don't think that's something they can bank on all the time, but in this round, it's been enough early on. They're in this 5-on-4. Now, the reason why Hugo's eyes light up whenever he doesn't see a kit purchased is because on Vertigo, a lot of the time, you are left to play retake at either one of these sites. More often than not, it feels like it's still the A site of play, right? And these kits become essential once that bomb goes down and some of these awkward post plants that you can find yourself in. So for Mouse, it's pretty imperative that if they let this bomb go down, they're fielding quite the man advantage when it happens. With how this round has started, it's looking good for that. Searson gets naded out of the equation, a 5-on-3, and now a follow-up kill from Carrigan. He's really holding down this A site like a bit of a madman. He's going to follow up. That's the bomb dropped. And all right, Mouse, look, we can forgive you this time.
Just to make a note on kits quickly as well, not only is it important if you're like setting up a round to play retake or whatever, Mouse clearly weren't playing retake in this round. They're clearly playing aggressively, and that's fine. But not only do the kits give you the chance to play a retake as a team, as a unit, and to deal with those difficult A post plants, but also it gives you like a clutch potential as an individual. If you have a kit and you're on the CT side, you always have that in your pocket that you can stick a bomb in a clutch situation, right? And without a kit, you're never going to do that. You don't stick 10 seconds in a clutch. It just doesn't happen. So, you know, that's just another way to win a round, potentially, that kit that buying it gives you. So,
well, not to mention as well, I think just its presence gives you like flat out more options, right? Like if you're inside of the A site and you're in like this like 4-on-4, say like you haven't even lost the site yet and it's kind of even odds, it gives you the option to make the decision to back out, play the numbers game, right? Set up for the retake, and you don't feel as pressured to have to take these gunfights in the first place. So yeah, you know, and in this round, as we say, it doesn't really matter. You know, Mousesports, they're a good case study of how you can play without a kit as long as you're winning these gunfights and not allowing this A control to come through. Now, one thing I will say as well, this wasn't like some sort of A execute from Big. It was very much just taking ramp control, playing contact, right? We didn't see those standard wall of smokes that go down into the A bomb site. It was very much just the kind of passive play up into the top of ramp and then peeking on contact. So in that round there, Mousesports, they're able to skirt on by, and now they do have these kits in play thanks to all that extra money. So everything we've spoke about, you can forget it for now.
That typically holds true. 3-3 though, and Big starting to build into this T side at least. They're a map down in the series. If you did miss Nuke, well, you missed a banging game. Luckily, Big, they are trying to bring one here and now as well. 3 rounds in a row before Mousesports reset it in the previous. Now they look to do the same. Carrigan on the site. He is stuck, and he's not going to get out alive. Tabson gets that kill. Luckily, a couple of responsive trades and throws him with the AK. Not only wallbanging you on, but pushes into the site and kills Tabson as well. That will send the bomb back, and Tizian is lurking in middle right now. Mousesports don't know about that bomb, though. still kept them towards A. B's actually empty right now, not that Big know it. And, well, Citizen's trying to clear that one out, but if Tizian dies, the Mousesports are going to be able to quickly rotate in, and there it goes. Tizian's gone, Citizen gets to B, but by this point, that player who's fighting Tizian in mid is already in the site. So Tizian definitely needed to stay alive there in order for Citizen to clutch. It just wasn't meant to be. Double AWP save for Mousesports here on the CT side. Very keen to get them under control. Rops often on that second AWP, but pretty much anyone can do it in the Mousesports team. I mean, crying out loud, we've had 2 ex-primary AWPers in this roster, so... And that's, you know, not even talking about Woxic, obviously. He's a current AWPer. Damn good at it. Double AWPs out. Chris on the MP7. Bit of a classic for him. Got that jump up, not spotted. Citizen's looking for the topside pick, but Woxic falls back, takes a shot and runs.
It actually leaves Ram pretty much entirely. He's going to try and take up a position at short side. Now, the danger with this is that no one has spotted Zintares getting so close. While all this has been going on, the rest of Big, they've set up outside of Big. Yeah, they've boosted Rops for the mid info, but he hasn't seen anyone. Are they going to run boost?
Oh, what is this?
I love what we're seeing. Okay, so we got Rops boosting on the B side. I feel like we're watching an MM game between 2 really sweaty teams.
Give it another go.
Go again. Come on, Keto, right?
Lucky.
Come on, man. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Oh, no!
Well, this one, failed launch here. Don't worry. Back to the drawing board. We'll watch Keto's descent back down to Earth, and the rest of his team, they're going to go to B.
I wonder where they're going, Mousesports, as they stack the B bomb site with 3.
Mousesports, yeah, they seem a little aware of this one. Right, so let's see if this pans out for Big. They're going to go walking into this stacked B-bomb site. And unsurprisingly, it's not really gone their way. Searson left up in the 1v5.
Run!
And this one, yeah, you might need to go back to the drawing board to make it was a nice attempt. I thought we were going to get to see the A boost and the run boost in the same round.
Look, Keto was just trying to check in at the lobby, Harry. He had to sign in at reception. That was 50 floors down. The elevator's out commission. That's the fastest way to the bottom floor. Fortunately, not the safest way, but that's a nice escape from Searson. He times it well through that connector. He gets out with the AWP. Almost a second kill as well, but one will do. Chris has a very stellar defense on that B site as well, dropping the wallbang. Oh, using the wallbang to drop those players.
The thing is like once it's foreshadowed by the run boost not working the first time, like I don't even want to go back up there if I'm Keto.
Yeah, I feel like when people do, we've tried a lot of run boosting, Harry. Me and you, we like a run boost.
We do.
I feel like when you try and do it from the railing and you jump across, that's when you mess it up because the speeds are never the same. I don't understand why, but I've seen it fail every time. But when you do it just standard, right? You just get on ahead, you jump. When you land, you start running. I feel like that lands more often than not. I don't know why. I don't have an answer. It's just what I've seen. I'm just reporting here, Harry. Don't shoot the messenger. But yeah, I mean, you know, nice try from Big. It's nice to do on ecos in a full rifle round in a 5-on-5.
Yeah, I always think as well, right? The problem with doing it off the railing is the guy at the bottom like runs backwards, and I feel like they always end up hitting the end of the rail. Oh, they're gonna try it again. Come on, let's go. Taps on your turn. And, well,
they're doing it again. They're hitting the wall on the right side. You need to strafe round longer. If you get the speed, you can go so far. You need to go wider because they keep hitting that blue. What is it like? The tunnel that you drop construction stuff through.
You know,
rubbish.
The BISP, the BISP, the Berlin International Space Program is not off to a flying start. I think that's fair to say. In fact, it's off to a crashing to the ground start. Yeah. And that is the polar opposite of what you were hoping for. Now, Big, I hope this hasn't kept you away from the run boost forever. I still think you attempt it in the next round, honestly.
Yeah, every round until it works.
Every round, because at some point it's got to, and that's just trial and error. That's like
you know what's going to happen, Harry. You know what's going to happen. Eventually, when Big do succeed and they get that run boost off, the player's going to land on the sandbag and they're going to get instantly shot in the head. But we'll save that for later because the AWP is out and about in this round. It's the only gun they have, and not for long. Frozen freezes them in place, and Big just get melted on the A site. It's going to be Mousesports with 5 alive. They get rid of that eco. The AWP has no effect. The run boost the same. Look, Tapson hits the right, and boom, 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 boom.
Right, guys. One more time, off the top.
Yeah,
we know what we're doing. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. I really want Mousesports to do the run boost on their T side as well, like just to get it out, right? Just to get it out there and show that they can.
They actually do it. I've seen them do it in an official. So
let's go. Mid play coming in. Woxic gets dropped almost immediately. Tizian with that kill, and who knew? When you don't sacrifice the man to gravity in the opening 20 seconds of the round, you might have a pretty good chance. 5-on-4 for Big.
But have you tried it, Harry?
Yeah, have you tried the run boost? That's the question.
Well, Big, they try before they die. And, well, in this round, at least it's a little bit better. It's a little bit easier. A 5-on-4, Woxic gone, the AWP in the hand of Rops. Tizian, he wants to do the run boost, but he's got no one to do it with. He's going to have to abandon the middle position, go join his team on A. That's where the bomb is going in first as well. So no surprises from Mousesports. They're going to know it's a full commitment. And that is the issue with putting the bomb out first. Now Big have to commit. They have to continue. The bomb gets thrown back. Makito's still going to try and lead the charge to take control of the site. Mousesports on a full rotate. Rops is coming very, very late off of that B bomb site. Karrigan's dropped the bomb in the smoke, and he's not done at that either. Frozen and Karrigan combine for another smoke shot. And Big, one by one, get blown out of this round. No kills on the A site. They find Woxic, but that is the last kill Big gets. And with no bomb plant, that's a real problem for Big. They had 3,500 thanks to the full loss bonus, but they can't buy up. $800 difference could have done a huge amount of difference to Big. They could have had a full investment here, but instead it's back down to the pistols. Hey, I've never seen a better round to run boost, I will say that.
Yeah, something tells me we might not see it again, Hugo. I know we're all devastated as spectators, but
especially Big.
Yeah, failed it once, shame on me. Failed it twice.
Double shame on me.
Yeah, I'll never do it again. That's the age-old saying. Zintaret's getting naded down, but it's actually Tizian once more opening up, and it's Chris J who's gone very aggressive in 3B. Now, Rops had the same idea. Rops is here with an AWP pushed into the B lobby. This is actually, it looks kind of dangerous, and it is a pretty dangerous spot to be in. Like, Rops is a liability, but at the same time, the information he is providing is stellar. He's kind of clearing this B site. He's keeping it under wraps, and he's got a very forward position. Now, he's gone back, and he's actually, the timing for Rops. As he leaves the B lobby, as he leaves B main, they go through the connector, they get into the B main position. Now they look to take the site. Woxic having to keep an eye on both mid and B. Now, at some point in time, Rops is going to get the information that mid is clear. Woxic has rotated away because they saw no one at B, they saw no one at mid, and oh dear, it's that classic case of misinformation in this round for Mousesports. A bomb plant now guaranteed for Big. They are wondering, how on earth did we just walk in? Is this how easy B's been? Why are we even trying to run boost when we can just walk in and the door's wide open? But Karrigan and co, they're here. Security team are on site. The intruder alarm is blaring, and they're trying to deal with these players in the site. Now into a 3-on-3, and no armor for Big. There's still a good chance that Mousesports can find this round, and they've kept it in a 2-on-2, but time starts to become the problem now. Tizian and his Deagle have felt like the stuff of legends in this map, so let's see if he's able to nail one. Instead, he's just drawing attention away, but a nice shot from Rops. It's still going to be very, very close, but I think he's just got it, and it's 8 on the board for Mousesports. Locked in, guaranteed, courtesy of Rops. By the way, 3 players almost at 16K at the end of that round on Mouse.
It was all calculated, Harry.
This is wild, man. This is a wild series. And this Vertigo, I'm sad to say it, but for Big, these run boosts really have costed them early on in this game. And at this point, 8-3 down. If they don't start recovering now, it might never happen at all. And that's the sad truth of it.
And you need T-side rounds, right? You can't have 4-5 at the half. You need the lead. And I mean, Mousesports have already locked that in. They've already taken 8 so far, and they don't plan on stopping. Rops, he may have missed the timing, but he at least wins the 1-on-2, and you can't ask for more from him there. Big. Oh, they throw the smoke down. They go fast. Woxic hits the first, but did they realize a man's made it across through the smoke? Woxic going to go for a shot. Rops drop though. Tabson is quick, and now Woxic needs to leave the A site because B has been rustled by Big, who is still looking to take control. They have players towards the bottom side of it coming up. Frozen, overwhelmed in middle. Tabson hasn't moved from his construction position, and Karrigan won't let him move. He's now made that corpse lifeless as Searson with the bomb is spotted. He has to drop. He is very late here as a result. maybe wanted to go through mid, but Big have got control of B thanks to that kill on Rops. Woxic is just trying to hold for the cross, and with this bomb taking so long, Big have gone silent.
Oh, Woxic here. Delivering another, that bomb yet to cross into the site, and now it's the only man left standing, Searson. 1-on-3, and he's ready for the peek from construction. It's not going to get gifted over. He's trying to find a kill, anything to tip this round in his advantage. He goes to stick the bomb plant now. Mouse don't go peeking right away. Now they learn it's not a fake, and so they know that Searson is stuck here. A nice flick, but the follow-up is in, and it's the wraparound from Chris J. He comes up through the ramp, catches them by surprise. 9 on the board for Mousesports. This is very, very dominant.
Yeah.
And after how Nuke was so back and forth, I was expecting a lot from Big here on this map, with it being their map pick, with it being one that's treated them well in the past. Mousesports have showed up looking ready today, and with a couple of rounds gifted their way on the back of failed run boosts early on, it's left them in a really good spot. Like a 9-3 CT side is already stellar. You've already got enough rounds, it feels like.
Big need to go to the A site, and I feel weird saying that, Harry, because at least in the Road to Rio, at least in Masters, so much of what we say is these teams need to move away from the A site, because it's so common that teams will get stuck in on the T side, continually going to A, getting the plants, getting into clutches, losing them, and just being so convinced that that is the answer. Big, they haven't even really tried A, not at least properly, not with the execute, right? They try and take fights, but they often lose them to these very warm Mousesports players. Frozen's look so good in this series, but I'd love to see Big throw those execute smokes, play a 5-on-5 post plant, try and force Mousesports' hand in the retake. It would have been better to do early on, but Mousesports didn't have the money, the orbs, the utility, the kits, but now they've got all of them and more. So Big, this is going to be a very hard round to win. It's going to rely on the orb looking for picks. Searson, he spots one on the boost. Good shot from Searson. Frozen's gone. The molly not even needed. And now Big can continue to move into this site. Karrigan is on an island. He has to get out of there. The smoke will provide some cover, but not for long. Woxic dropped by another shot from the AWP. And one by one, this A site is falling for Mousesports. Finally, Karrigan gets a response. He does drop that orb, but there's still a man down.
Karrigan decides to stick around inside of the site. He was going to back off, but now trying to re-aggress, and Tarez catches him through the edge of that smoke at short side, and now the A play might be back underway from Big. 25 seconds though, time not looking great. They're trying to make progress, and they do get the bomb into the site. tabseN's going to get that planted, and there's no util to deal with him. Chris J hadn't even begun a rotation from B, so Rops is here at the A site alone, effectively in a 1v4. Now, if you're Mouse, you had a lot of money, and you still do, so you can justify sticking around here and seeing if anything presents itself, but eventually you might just have to make that call to save. And with half the time ticked off for this bomb, tabseN finding Rops, Chris J probably just going to think about holding on to the AK. He's actually ducking back in, trying to take some weapons away, and he'll come to regret that decision. tabseN hangs around. He's not going to leave this to get ninja defused. And now attack pause for Mousesports. This is the first little kind of setback they've faced in some time. They want to try and remedy it quickly. Because the last thing you want is like for Big to start to find their footing, to start to recover. You know, you want to keep it like fresh in their minds that you are dominating this game. And if you let them get a few rounds back on the board, I don't know, man, as we saw back on Nuke, Big certainly have the resilience factor in them.
Yeah, I mean, Mousesports, you know, 9-6 half at worst case is still great, but you say it yourself, momentum, I think, is the key word, right? If Big win these 3-4 rounds at the end of the half, have the momentum, find the pistol, they can definitely start to string together rounds. In the first 11 rounds, Big killed themselves as many times as they killed Rops. That, I assume, being 2, right? With them throwing them players off of the map. But no more run boosts, I hope, for Big. At least not unsuccessful ones. Woxic, he's mollied middle. He's trying to take control. Mousesports have a 3-man setup here. We've not seen this before. They're going to peek the orb. And because of how the Molotov blooms, the players close to it can see more through it. And so that actually favors them over the AWP assist. And he gets overwhelmed. There is a trade. tabseN moves in late from the ladder. And he does at least keep things even. 3-on-3, Frozen dead. tabseN going to leave to go and rejoin his team. Santara is up on A. Very aggressively, but not for long. Karrigan finds him, and now it's down to the bomb on B. 2 up for Big, and 1 man in the site. It's Rops with the orb. And Rops is such a clutch player, such a smart player, and he knows that he can just take a shot, get a kill, run back and play safe. That's his MO, that's his aim. And Big, they're going to bring the pain.
Oh, he sees a backpack, and now peeking a little bit wider, catches Tabson leaving it on Keto. Rob still floating around here, and now tucking himself in over at the back left of the site. Swinging wide, and Keto's gotten close as a result. Now, even spotting Toxic on the entry in through mid. Keto going to start to plug in these numbers. Molly's really going to complicate matters for him, and there's the follow-up almost immediately. Mousesports are like very constricting in these situations, right? Like they really don't let you get comfortable in that site. And that round there, when it's a 2v1, obviously they have very little reason to. They've got the utility to keep the pressure on. But even if you think back to, you know, like that round where Big get into B on the back of the misinformation from Robs, it's all just so fast from Mouse. You know, they really don't let you get comfortable. They're not going to hang around. They're not going to give up these post-plant positions for free. And so Big, you know, they've kind of been left like just having to play the hand they've been dealt inside of these bomb sites a lot of the time, and it's not coming up in their favor. So Mousesports, they right their wrongs, they get a 10th back on the board, and now we approach the last round of this first half of play.
Yeah, another aggressive mid-take. There's no AWP here this time. There is a double setup again. Big, as unready for it as they were last time. Woxic and Chris get both the kills. Even though Tizzy and Tabson look prepared for fights, they will not win any of them. And I love that idea from Mousesports, using the molly to their advantage. Not only does it, you know, cover vision, but it covers footsteps. It makes Big relax because they think no one's going to push a Molotov, but that's exactly what Mousesports are going to do. Karrigan's out in the site still, so tries to take a fight with the AWP, and Xantares didn't realize Karrigan had re-pushed short. That's a good bit of re-aggression from Mousesports. Karrigan has looked very comfortable on this A site, I will say. You know, really, really good at just staying alive, re-smoking, re-aggressing, not playing retake, and because we haven't seen Mousesports give up A at all here, not in the traditional sense. Obviously, that's because Big haven't gone for executes, but yeah, Karrigan's just been really good at just holding A for as long as he possibly can and really making Big work for it if they want the plant. Right now, it's Keto in a 1-on-5 for the halftime, and he might just be dead as soon as he gets into this site.
Well, there you go, Hugo. You kind of spoiled that one for us. 11-4 at the end of the first half of play. Mousesports with quite the lead, and Big, they've got to make one hell of a comeback happen if they want to take this one all three. You're going to have to join us after a quick break to see how Vertigo ends up playing out. So stick around, because this series has been great. Well, you think about how good that nuke game was, and it's been quite the fall from grace for Big. And, well, what do you know? We even get to relive these live-action falls right now. tabseN and Keto, they both learnt the hard way. Gravity sometimes is not your friend. And you can see the Betway odds. They also show the gravity of this whole situation, leaning massively in favor of Mousesports right now. We've had 2 injuries thus far here on Vertigo. Let's see if we get any more. Mousesports now moving into the T half, and it's a nice couple of taps from xentares and cyeSN over here in mid to put up the openers for Big on this CT half. Now Frozen out through B ramp. He does have this bomb on the back of karrigan rotating in, but to say Big are ready for this is a bit of an understatement. They've got a 4-man stack here at the B bomb site. So Mousesports, they're walking in to a... Ooh, Frozen. Yeah, man, that was close. He's a real parkour artist, is Frozen. He realized that he's going to be fine, I guess, there.
Mousesports' mid flashes were far too deep. They try and throw the G2 utility that just lands on the scaffolding with the molly smoke flash, but the flash goes past the box, and so Big have 2 close players, and they completely avoid the utility. So nice idea for Mousesports, but yeah, definitely need a close flash to deal with that contingency. A fast play now towards A. tabseN could be getting overwhelmed. He has no armor. He's trying to hide in the smoke in the site. He spotted a player there, but now getting tagged from short as well. It might be a chance to fall off, and the fact that he's given a chance to fall off is impressive. Mousesports would love that kill, as now they're going to be a man down in the post plant. Big with a kit on the retake.
karrigan is trying to get stuck in with his Glock, and he's going to come to regret that decision. Now, Frozen, 2 kills to his name, 15 points of health, and he has to ace if he wants to win this in a 1v3. I haven't painted the greatest of pictures, and I don't really know how Frozen got Tizzy in there.
Tried to shoot xentares.
I think it was a missed bullet. Yeah, just a stray bullet into the back line. But it is Big finding the pistol, and they really needed that if they wanted to get back into this game. Like, that was the danger they were running. With such a poor T-side start, if you lose the pistol here in the second, it could be all said and done, because we know how strong these T-sides can be when they get rolling. And now for Mouse, they've got to wait a little bit before they can be in that point of time. They will partially invest into this round here and now. That's thanks to that bomb plant offering up a little bit of extra money to these bank accounts. They try and come in with a fast A-ramp play. 4 players on the other side, including a deeper smoke to cut off vision to xentares. And they will start to worm their way up ramp. Now, xentares gets in behind the sandbags. I don't think karrigan saw him there. They just passed each other. And karrigan could get blindsided. There's a flash getting lined up right now to allow this peek. karrigan actually gets dropped over at short, and so xentares hasn't even had to reveal that he's in this position yet. He's still holding absolutely all the cards in this round.
There's the flash, and there he goes. Oh dear, not what he wanted from that fight given away. Does have more utility to not only keep himself alive, but let him move out of this position if he wants. Chris has been dinked on short side with a Glock. cyeSN moves in and mows down. 3, not quite 4, but ropz isn't getting out of this one alive. He's already being flanked from B. Should hear those footsteps. And actually, ropz might have a little bit more up his sleeve. The Magician wrapping B. Where's the bomb in all of this? I don't even see it on the minimap. ropz has duped these CTs, but he's not going to be able to get away with a kill anyway. It's going to be Keto cleaning up and a bit of, respectful tactical crouching in the general vicinity. Bit of a tactical pause right now. Oh, sorry, technical pause, rather, as we wait for things to continue. Mousesports have the money for their first rifle round, but do note that I think we've had a drop from the side of Mousesports. So waiting for a reconnect, rather, and for the first rifle round of Mousesports' T side. They lose the pistol, they lose the eco, and Big now in control of the money.
Well, we've had another player drop.
Uh-oh.
Not a good sign. Of course, though, man, these roster changes, they're all getting a little bit out of control, right? We remember when tzySN and tabseN joined Mousesports midway through the game. We remember when Big made the controversial move to not double, but to triple down on cyeSN in this team. And wow, we were there for that moment, Hugo. We shared that with everyone watching at home. A triple cyeSN combo. Does sound like a deal at a fast food restaurant, so maybe there's something there. Maybe there's something in it.
Pick up your 3-piece cyeSN now.
Yeah, your
3-piece
cyeSN. Yeah, just waiting for these guys to reconnect. But let's recap what we've seen in this game thus far, right? So in this first half, we had a pretty close affair, right, to begin it. Like Big get off to a good start. They went 3-2 up, and we were thinking it was going to be a very competitive game. And then a couple of missed run boosts here and there, and it really did slow down the kind of streak that Big found themselves on. Mousesports, they respond with a hell of a streak of their own, as we can see on the round timeline there. Now moving into the second half, the thing that was a necessity for Big was finding this pistol round. And what did they do? They got the pistol, they found the conversions, and as you were saying, Hugo, this is the first rifle-on-rifle round. And for me, this is really where we get to have a look to see if this comeback is a reality for Big. You know, if it's achievable. If they can't get it over the line here, looks like they will be running a bonus round in this one, but it still could just all fall apart, right? Like, these T-sides are so hard to put a stop to once they get rolling.
Yeah, I will say one thing that certainly is in the favor of Big on the CT side is they have 9 CT players on their team, as you can see. So that's pretty good, right? No T's in sight. Everyone's blue. So Big, wow. I mean, 9v4, 9v5.
Nature's returning back to normal in the server, and the CTs, they're out in full force. This is, man, I'm tearing up right now. We're all just getting along, and honestly, I think we could learn a lot from this game right here, right now. Everyone, Big, they put aside their differences, and they're sharing together. Wow, it's a beautiful sight indeed. Hugo.
We're just 60 seconds out of the action, though, Harry. We have been told. So luckily, this game will be continuing in just a second. The warfare, the madness, the action will all come back, and this piece, well, unfortunately, it's got to peace out.
Yeah, it's going to be short-lived. We can see that Mousesports, they're all back pretty much. Tizian's still floating around over there, but that's because we're waiting for one more man to reconnect to the server. Then the HUD will fix itself. It's just kind of a little glitch, little gremlin in the system that you'll notice. That's, by the way, for anyone watching at home. If you do want to know a little trick, if you ever see this happen, it does normally mean someone's DC'd from the server. So I'll let you guys in on the insider knowledge there.
Wow, Harry. Truly a noble man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woxic's look great in this game. I think a big talking point for the digital desk, I like that, I'm stealing it, by the way, I think Trace said it earlier, is that this AWP battle, we haven't really seen it across either of these maps in like a head-to-head between Woxic and Searson, but at least when it comes down to Woxic and his performance in this series has been excellent. He looked really good back on Nuke, dropped 30, and he's holding his own here and now, and that certainly bodes well for Mousesports. So let's get that HUD reset and get back into the action. AK is out for Mousesports. Big continuing on the buys on their bonus, which is always a risk. Running bonus rounds when you're this far down, it could give Mousesports a way in. So they bought a rifle and an AWP around it. Big still don't want to drop the ball here. He's still getting lined up towards A, but you'll notice Mousesports are ready for a B crunch. Woxic trying to sell a solo fake. Tizian's pushed all the way down A ramp. He now knows that B is a very likely play here for Mousesports and that tabseN needs to be careful, so he peels off and falls back safer inside of the site. I will say, I don't think the numbers on the minimap are linking up with the order of the players, so I may have done that wrong. And yeah, it's all been corrected. Thank you. Wow. DreamHack on the ball as always. Keto is the one playing on B rather. tabseN pushed A with the SMG, and Tizian, well, he's chilling in mid.
Yeah, something that's pretty curious in this round is that tabseN goes very, very deep down ramp with this MP9, and on the back of it, he's gotten a lot of information. Even throwing that nade through the aggressive smoke that he puts down, this is all wasting time for Mouse, right? It looked like they were setting up over towards B early on. Well, they've had to reconsider that plan in its entirety. And they go back, they clear ramp, they see that tabseN's no longer there, but look at how much time this is wasted for a start. And secondly, tabseN, well, he is still there, and he is still holding down the short side, and he still sees that there's no one at ramp. So as a result, there are a lot of players at this B bomb site now for the big squad. And so Mousesports, they don't know it. They're walking into this 3-man stack on the back of the information that tabseN is getting for the squad. Keto hidden close with this MP9, and he might just go unchecked. They're so focused on dealing with these players in the site that they don't check their corners. And this has left Big in quite the advantage. Tizian is still just a nuisance. Oh my goodness, I would hate this man. And finally, Oh, there's some kind of death over at B, but it is a bad one for Mousesports. They lose everyone on that push.
Yeah, it's actually kind of sad because when we were looking at the mini-map there, if Mousesports hit B at any other time of the round, they would have been fine. If they rushed it off spawn, they would have been fine. If they hit it when Tabs and pushed A, they would have been fine because those rotates not only took their time for Big, but as Mousesports left B and went A, so did Big. They were hearing those rotations. They went back towards A. Mousesports decided against it after seeing it was clear, like you said, and then walked back into the stack. So, yeah, a bit of a messy one for Mousesports. I would like some faster approaches from this team. I think they're going to be very, very good at these A rushes. So let's see if they have that in their plan. 5 players on ramp right now, or 4 rather. It's Rops with the Hero AK. Lurking, looking for rotations. Mousesports not with a lot of util either. A smoke on Woxic, looking for an A-side plant. There are 3 players in the site for Big. One of them fighting short with the orb. It's Searson. Carrier's going to get the first taste of blood, and it does not taste good in his mouth. Searson does get hit by the smoke, which slows him down, but no one there to punish it, so Big are absolutely fine, just waiting inside of A.
Oh. All right, Frozen and his Tech 9, they've opened up the A site, and they've allowed for a bomb plant to come in. And it will just about. Frozen's actually still alive, and as I say that, now he is no longer. This gets mopped up nice and quickly by Big, but if you're Mouse, you're happy that you at least achieved that plant. You know, that was kind of the object of your desire in this round. It allows for a full investment here, in spite of a few players putting a lot of stock here in this round for Mousesports. Obviously also thanks to the loss bonus starting to accumulate now alongside that plant bonus. And so we do get to see the AWP in the hands of Woxic. We get rifles on everyone else. But Big, they are well and truly back into this map, and in a very big way at that.
Yeah, and Mousesports, they want to put a stop to this, or at least put a round on as soon as they can. Not let Big continue with this momentum. The orb's going to peak ramp, but Searson gets flashed out and can't commit. There's an AWP on Mousesports' side as well. Woxic is the last man up ramp here with it. Rob's still holding this flank as is tradition here. Nice grenade, finds Chris J, trying to get up on top of the sandbags, and flashes will follow for Mouse, but Big want to bring the heat. They don't want to wait around. Xantares maybe should have, as he pushes into the smoke as it blooms. Frozen takes him down. That's an unfortunate fight for Xantares, and it's left things in a 4-on-4. Big feeling the need to re-aggress. Tabson will do so towards short, but the Molotov makes him decide, should he stay or should he go? And so he will go. So will Mousesports. They've left A. Frozen. And Molly is at least kept 2 at this site. Alone on B is Keto, and that's exactly where Mousesports are heading.
And only one man to get past. Molly's well timed at least to separate this offensive, and yeah, you're bang on. It does just land 1 tag onto Woxic, but that's information given over. And so an early rotation arriving from Tizian. Keto not able to hold the line and bested straight away by Carrigan on the entry. Now Tizian desperately doing what he can. The smokes will fall, and through the wall, it's Rops to do it all. Bomb plant now found, and in comes Mr. Searson with this AWP, and that's going to entice Big back into this round, trying to get a retake off, and they do find the kill now onto Rops. Woxic, he was able to tag Searson, but didn't finish the job, didn't deal the killing blow. Now it falls to him and Carrigan. This was 4-on-2 in the post plant. This was looking so good for Mousesports, and it could get stripped away from them if these two don't answer the call. And Tabson, dealing all the damage required, puts the 9th on the board for Big. This gap getting closed more and more by the second. And this CT half is looking stellar from the big boys right now.
Yeah, Searson's looks so much better on this map than Nuke. He was silent, and Tabson, the swing king, look at that transfer. Just runs out in the ramp and kills Woxic, transfers to Carrigan on 4 health, and that's an easy round for Mousesports to take. Oh, it's for a Big to take, right? Sorry, it looked like an easy round for Mousesports. They were 4-on-2 up, Harry. And they will fall in the post plant. That retake is wonderful. And Mousesports, they've tried a lot now. What is going to be their answer into this next rifle round? We've not seen much mid-control. Not since the pistol, where they got swiftly removed by the P2K of Xantares. Mousesports do take bottom B here, but not a lot they can do with it. Remember, Big not only have 2 in the site, but have a 3rd in the construction. That's such a quick rotate to B for Tizian. He's essentially in the site anyway. He's just not watching the ramp. He can pivot and throw utility assisting teammates when needed, and they will be needed. Here come Mousesports.
Carrigan really looking to get ahead of the curve. He is through this offensive smoke, and oh, he's dealing damage. Follows up, looking for another. Keto will catch him on the wide swing. The reload not off in time for Carrigan. Now 4-on-4, and we've seen Big get back into these rounds with even less going their way. Only this time, Mousesports, they're no longer just sitting back lackadaisically inside of this bomb site. Instead, they are bringing the fight to Big, and in doing so, they take this 4-on-3. Big back away. And I like this decision from Big. You know, I don't think they're feeling the pressure to have to attempt one of these 3-on-4 retakes anymore. You know, you've got this game this close. You don't want to throw your whole economy into question by going for a high risk and admittedly, you know, reasonably high reward round like this. I think, you know, it makes sense. They're playing it by the percentages. They're playing it by the numbers. And this just shows how they're feeling a lot more comfortable. You know, you don't feel compelled to attempt a 3-on-4 because you do still have rounds left to play with in this map.
You know, like we said, right, if Big got those last few rounds and a half, they could really start streaking together rounds. And they didn't even do that, right? They got one round out of the last 3 or 4 in that T side. But despite the lack of momentum, well, they've got everything else. 5 rounds in a row for Big coming into the second half, and Mousesports finally break the mold. They finally break the curse, and they get on the board. But you know, 5-1 is not the ratio Mousesports want, and they're going to have to continue building, preferably here, right? If they want to close the game, Mousesports need to break Big's economy here and now, because otherwise we're in for a 30-rounder. That's just how this game goes. If Big win this follow-up, Mousesports are going to be in a predicament as well. So, yeah, this one really is an important round, more so for the side of Big than anyone else. So let's see what they can do with it. The save, it was all for this buy. Searson on the AWP, rifles around, full util and kits. Big have everything they need. Mousesports still no AWP on Woxic. Being keen to use these rifles. They actually could have bought it if they wanted to, but lead the way. Mousesports go fast up A. Santaros is here. It's again the triple setup from Big, and that grenade could do a serious bit of damage to a player climbing up on the A ramp, but right now, Santaros is yet to throw it. He's stalling it out as long as he can, and therefore finds nothing with it. Mousesports are 3 on short side. No one here to stop them either. Oh dear.
Bit of a spam battle, but no one like really decides. Oh, triple boost. Yeah, let's get it.
You've got a both jump here. You got to, both jump.
There we go.
Up.
Frozen.
Oh,
come on,
yeah.
Time to shine. First man removed, and then looking for the follow-up. Doesn't get presented. Doesn't want to hang around. Frozen delivers a double. The triple boost works for Mousesports. Love to see it. Haven't seen that one many a time in pro games. You know, it exists. You've seen it around. Mousesports pulling it in here to gimmick them a kill on the board. And, you know, that's all you need it to do. You only need to do it once, and you only need it to get you 1 kill, and it's worth its weight. Now, Searson, he spotted the elbow. Carrigan showing Searson a little too much flesh on that push. Not able to follow up onto Rops, though. And this B site now calling for rotations in his death. 20 seconds left. This bomb is still outside of A. They've sold the B fake perfectly. Rops has handled this all on his own, and he's even bypassed the man through this smoke.
Does he know?
Now, the bomb's going to go down at A with just enough time left. Rops is still laying down the pain inside of the site. Over here on this fake at B, and Tizian, I mean, he knows now he can't win the round. He's still looking for this kill onto Rops, and he's going to find it, so he can at least get away with the rifle, but that is it.
How did Rops read that Keto went through the smoke? Keto was silent. It almost feels like someone else called it for him, but I don't know how they would have that information. What a play for Rops, man. His teammate dies bottom B. He waits, and all this time, Mousesports had the bomb outside of A. They want to draw Big away from the site. They want to fake B out, and that's the intention of the round. So Rops getting that kill, getting patient, and Searson getting over aggressive, giving Rops the way into B is massive. Mousesports wait, and with 5 seconds left, they plant the bomb on A. Big are nowhere to be seen. It's going to be the save for Tizzy, and he does get away with this AWP, but another round in a row for Mousesports. 2 on this T side, and Big's economy, we already talked about it. It's getting drawn into question.
So just then on the replay, I heard
I heard the
like
drop as well.
Noise,
yeah,
right. But I didn't hear that in the moment.
No.
So yeah, I guess maybe there was a little audio telegraph there in the way of Rops.
Sneaky. I mean, yeah, well, this game has been CT-sided, right? Only, what, 6 T rounds won in this entire map out of, so far. So that's kind of impressive, kind of away from the curve. We usually have a lot of T-sided maps. Even both of these teams in the history have been 60-40 on T-side. So this is a little bit different, but it's certainly setting up for an exciting game. Big, another buy. They saved the AWP. That's a valuable save considering how well Citizen's been performing here. Certainly stepped it up from Nuke. Let's see if he can keep up appearances here. Nice grenade from Mousesports, puts him down to 50 though.
Yeah, Big are going to try and respond here with some aggression down through ramp, but Frozen. Torres is on his head. Oh, there we go. He does realize. He does realize that could have gotten very, very gross very, very quickly, but thankfully Zantares, I think it was like as well that realization, like, can I normally stand this far forward? And then like looks down and oh, that explains it. Searson with a nice little angle here up onto the boost. Fan of this. This is nice. Let's see what he can do from it. Drops the first man in, but Carrigan did still put up a kill before his untimely demise. However, Searson still floating around, and now with backup over here in CT. Rops has got to do a lot if he wants to turn this round in favor of Mouse. He's not able to do so, but that's a nice little gift from Chris J. That has given him a chance in this round. 1v2. He is spotted over here towards ramp, and so Big, they are slowly but surely rotating over here towards the A bomb site. Chris has dropped himself a smoke to get up close with this bomb, and now he's looking for the plant. He rains on in. Now with the bomb down. Trying to navigate this 1v2.
Yeah, our PGM just died, Harry. I do respect you really trying to
still giving it my all, but it doesn't sound good for Chris J. Seemingly, at least from what I can hear, it's not sounding good. I hear a defuse being stuck. And there we go. The defuse has come in. They've nailed it. Doing this by sound now. Chris, unfortunately, not able to close it out in the 1v2.
Yeah, sorry guys, we are trying to get this figured out. We don't know if it's internet issues in our side of things or if it's a PGM dead, but we are seemingly back in the action, at least for the moment. Mousesports 13-11 up. Zantares, he's going aggressive again and netted him a kill on Frozen last round. He's here once more for blood, and inside of the smoke is a man. Carrigan's going above. He's actually passed by him, but his teammates will pick up the kills. There's one trade and only one. Tizian's still standing on the site. Searson drops a man in the middle, and Tizian's still here, still standing, and not for long. Woxic does get the trade, now into a 2-on-2 with the bomb under the control of Mousesports.
Ooh, and what can they do in this 1v2? Does have the bomb to play with, does Woxic here. And he's desperately looking for one of these frags to present itself. Now, there's just under a minute left on this timer, so Woxic still with time to play around with here. Oh, almost catches. Actually, no, that man's back in elevator room, so not actually going to find him anytime soon. 35 seconds here, and Woxic, he went quiet for so long that Big started to reconsider, and they actually sent a man over into middle. Now, he's still there, is Keto. Searson's back in the A site alone, and Woxic has been able to retrieve 2 smokes. He's given himself a smoke wall to try and plant behind. Now, that molly will rain on in an attempt to deny the bomb plant, but Woxic trying to stick it. And I love that from Big. They throw the molly in, and they know that's either gotten Woxic off the bomb or he's having to plant wide and out in the open. They spam through the smoke, and they find an 11th round here over on this Big CT side.
Yeah, technical problems look like they've all come to a close for us, Harry, but the tactical ones are just beginning, at least for Mousesports. Another quick pause before this rifle round. And, well, I say that. Rops is going to need a drop to at least make that so. Luckily, that's available. Money is here for Mousesports, still leaning away from this AWP on the T side, even though Searson's really having a great game and constantly getting these mid picks mid-round as Mousesports try and lurk a player behind enemy lines. Like having a mid-lurk on these A executes is so valuable. You know, even if they just wait till the bomb's planted and they come in on a backstab, those CTs are going to be so focused on setting up utility and getting back into that bomb site, they're not even going to consider it a lot of the time. But Searson, oh, he's flashed out and he is in a precarious spot, has to fall back. Grenade does nothing, but luckily Mousesports won't punish him for his position. Quito even peels away for a moment anyway. It's going to be a trade of players at the back of B. Searson takes middle and Tabson will come and assist in the site. That molly again pushes Mousesports away from what they want, which is that B control. Plenty of players here, 3 for Mousesports. Frozen still in T-spawn, holding onto the push from Big. Execute smokes coming in right now as Quito's so flashed, so burnt, he can't find a place to stay, he can't find a sanctuary. It's up to Tabson with a spray, 2 kills from him. Quito finally able to see, given the gift of vision, and he will take it away from Mousesports. A double for him before Rops eventually trades, but it comes at a cost. A 1-on-3 with a bomb dropped for Rops. This is not an easy clutch to win.
Not by any stretch of the imagination, and not now that they know where he resides. They've seen him inside of this site, they know where he's at. They're just not going to give up the fight to let him back into this 1v3. This is a lot of restraint from Big, and you absolutely love to see it. They're still checking that this bomb is out in the open every now and again, and that's going to give them the info as to when Rops has gotten it. And that's just going to narrow down where he can be even further. They know he's still at B. They know he's at Gens, and then he's got this bomb. Zantares with a stellar little shot there through the pixel gap, puts the 12th on the board for Big. Now just 1 away from tying this game up, which, you know, at halftime felt like an inconceivable idea for Big. They were able to get the pistol. They started to grind their way back into this, and now they sit 1 away from tying us up in a game that was 11-4 in favor of Mouse at one point in time.
That shot was brutal for Zantares. There was loads of cheeky little pixel gaps that you can see all the way from CT into that B bomb site for the cross. Nice grenade from Zantares to start this round as well. He's full of tricks, and now he's hiding behind the sandbags. Might be another surprise for Mousesports, certainly not a treat. Zantares peeks out, he gets 1. Good transfer for damage on Frozen and smoke to keep him still here. That grenade might get a kill, and it almost does. Woxic's down to 17. Zantares trying to escape this position, waiting for a flashbang from his teammates. But right now, there's no need to move. Mousesports have yet to deal with this. With 3 players tagged up, they can't exactly play out in the open. They've got to rely on this Molotov on Chris. He's waiting for the smoke to fade. He'll put it down, but it's too early. And Zantares lives to fight another day. A teammate smokes him off, even if that molly were to land. And Zantares, just him being here, is so valuable for Big. Tabson's going to wallbang Frozen, and I mean, Chris and Woxic only bullets away from death. They've got to be careful too.
Oh, they're doing the triple boost again, and it gives them results.
Wow.
With a double, and now there's a chance, a 3-on-3, down from 3v5 just moments ago. These 3 players trying to come together, trying to make something of this round here for the Mousesports side. Tabson holding close. He's been stellar in his defensive A, and it will continue. In spite of Rops' best efforts here, it's not enough. 13 on the board for Big. And the time to correct this, the time to get back on course for Mousesports is feeling like now or never. The momentum has gone massively in favor of Big in this second half. Everyone's stepping up, and nothing is really working for Mouse. It's not like we're able to look at any one of these rounds and feel like that they've gotten that close, or that what they've done is that replicatable, I guess you'd say. I can't think of the word. And yeah, it just kind of falls back into trying to take ramp. They get up towards A. Searson picks them off at short side. And so then they go back to the drawing board. They try and get map control elsewhere. They think that maybe mid has some answers, and perhaps it will. Carrigan and Rops, they've stepped up and they've made this round doable.
Oh, Quito, he was focused on middle, but he gets flanked from B, a fast approach from Mousesports, and it is exactly what they needed. The answers are there. Carrigan with a double. Again, not choosing to save the free AWP at their feet. And Quito, he tries to defend from that quick mid-take, but the B play is even faster. And Woxie just runs through the smoke and shoots him in the back of the head. Great round from Mousesports. I wanted to see more mid to B plays. I feel like you know, that's something that so many teams get away with through the construction area. As long as you get that one kill on the elevator in this round too, because Big were fighting heavy middle, then you can very fast get in the backline on B. They've actually broken the money with 14. Mousesports have given themselves a lifeline of survival, but Big want to take it away. They're ecoing, they're playing for overtime. We've already had a double OT in this series. Big want another. In fact, they can still win this round with Deagles. We've seen them do that as well, and a boost up for them. Mousesports have tried a fair few triple boosts. Well, Big have one of their own. Santares, surprise, surprise, he's dropped the bomb. He's got the info. Trade is here, but Karrigan doesn't get a double, and he dies there. This round is getting unfortunately hard for Mousesports. A 2-on-4, and if they leave here, Big are going to be able to regress and re-grab weaponry.
Yeah, this was not ever how this round was meant to go for Mouse. And now, right, you're in this 2-on-4, they're holding, and this decision to slow down, this decision to wait for the kills to come to them, although it's a risk that Big don't have to take, oh dear, they're not ready for this many to be wrapping short, and Chris J can't afford to miss right now, turns away from the short side, that triple push, unexpected for Mousesports. They weren't ready for it.
So smart, because you can see after every kill Mousesports got there, they immediately discounted, they immediately turned around. Drops gets one, you know, falls off, drops, that gets heard, taps and re-aggresses, kills one, Chris trades, Chris then forgets about the position because we've just killed two there. Why would there be a third? Exactly, why would there be a third? Big, that was an eco round. They were playing for OT and they've just given themselves the chance to win this still in regulation. This round here would break Mousesports, would give Big 15 and would likely send them over the line to Dust 2. Mousesports need this round more than Big do. But I mean, whoever wins it is going to be wrecking their opponent's economy. So, yeah, I think overtime is less likely than a 16-14 here, but we'll have to see who will be the victor.
So in this round, right, for the first time in a long while, there hasn't been pressure from Big at this A ramp side. I would kind of love to just see Mousesports do a standard A side execute with these smokes, with the utility they've got, and just try and play this in the post plant. Because I feel like, you know, when they've been going for these kind of defaults, when they've been holding, when they've been waiting, they've been getting bested in the heads-up gunfights a lot of the time. And this round, they do exactly that. It's these set smokes into A. The wall of smokes is in. Chris J opens up. Man advantage for Mouse. Oh. The bomb plant has been denied. Tabson removing Karrigan through the smoke. Forces Woxic to go for the standard plant here. No nades to deal the damage, at least none present inside of the site. So a 4-on-4 to decide who reaches map point first here on Vertigo. Will it be Big? Bouncing back in this second half, down 4-11. And able to get it all tied up at 14-14, or is it going to be the incumbent forces of Mousesports finally edging it over the line? Tabson delivering another kill has kept this in the advantage of Big. You can tell how much they want this round. They're on the defuse, and the peaks just aren't coming in for Mousesports. Wow. Big, they get it on the board, and try as Rops might, he almost gets all the kills from CT, but the bomb was never planted for him. He was never in the right place for it. It's map point for Big and a chance to take us to Dust 2.
And right there was why Karrigan tried to plant wide. Right there is the evidence. You know, he gets denied by the spray and the smoke, and it's because of the mid flank. They were trying to set Rops up to clutch, and he almost could have done it, right? Think about the amount of time Searson has been in middle, in the mid round, dropping kills on Rops trying to lurk out mid. He finally gets away with a lurk, and it's for a bomb that's not planted for him. Mousesports, they had no choice. They had to stick it behind the boxes, and Rops had to make do with what he had, and that was not enough. A 1-on-3 that he can't convert, and you can't blame him for it. Late to the party, Big had already tucked into the cake, and right now they're feeling it. 15-14, a round up, a map down, but looking to round it out at Dust 2, the third and final of this series. Big are just a moment away from getting there, or Mousesports are just a moment away from starting the clock again and giving us another overtime. Either one I will take at this point.
As they want to try and do something different, they're stacking up outside of B early on, but a double hold down at the stairs, Searson peeking down, while Keto is holding close with this MP9. This is a real meat grinder of a setup. Searson's going to take the first shot, and while they're so busy trying to deal with him, Keto can do damage. Mousesports, they move away from B, but Keto, he's pushed the extremities of this B bomb site and is now in B main. What we're going to see is Searson leave the B site, rotate away, go reinforce this A side of the map. And so Mouse, they don't know it, but they're going to be walking into a stack here, up against 15 on Big, vying for overtime. They've got to get it done in a site that has 4 players or 3 players at it right now for Big, a 4th that can come in fast in rotation in the form of Tizian. But that first kill will go their way, courtesy of Carrigan. The A site take now on.
Plant is wide as well, but they're going to span it. They're going to look to get rid of it, and they do again. Mousesports, the same problems that have been arising are exactly what they go back to. They try and set up for the late round, for the lurk of Rops, but it might not come into play. Woxic dropped the kill of Searson, trading the AWP. Tizian and Woxic both low in this round. It is on a knife's edge. Here's that lurk from Rops. He's not going mid. He's running B as fast as he can. Again, the bomb not planted for him. This time he can't afford to be late. He needs to be here on time, but he also can't give away the footsteps. It's a real conundrum for Rops. Mousesports trying to stall, trying to stay alive, but Woxic's been deleted, and the tap on the bomb, it's not a stick, but they don't know that, and they're going out wide. Rops 1-on-3 again, wrong position for the bomb, but what else can Mousesports do about it? It's Big, taking it over the line, 16-14, they push us to Dust 2, and my, oh my, what a series this is, Harry. I just can't believe how competitive this is getting.
I can't believe it either, man. That was 11-4 in favor of Mouse. This should have been a 2-0. That's what it was feeling like. But Big, they are resilient as they get, man. They were able to grind back into Nuke. They do it again on Vertigo, and they take us the distance. Dust 2 now loaded in the chamber as our 3rd and final map of this series. And I mean, man, if these last 2 maps have been anything to go by, Dust 2 is going to be a bloodbath. I can promise you that much. So stick around, because you really don't want to be anywhere else right now. This 3rd and final map about to begin. So join us after a quick break.